our founding fathers did not design this political system. And if they woke up, they would say, wow, you guys are actually living our worst nightmare come to life. When Dan talks about the changes that have gone on over the last number of years in our political system, you know what's happened? The polarization of the two major parties, where the Democrat and Republican parties were not this off on the edges 25, 30 years ago. But now we all know what it is. It's urban versus rural. It's more educated versus less educated. It's diverse versus more homogeneous. And so how does this polarization reverse itself? The answer is it doesn't. The answer is it gets worse. Media is going to compound it. Social media is compounding it. So we're heading off into our corners with no end in sight. And you know what the end naturally is? Civil strife and conflict, Civil War 2.0. That is where we wind up. And when Dan talks about the last time the Republican Party dislodged the Whigs, you know when that was? 1860. Abraham Lincoln wins with 39% of the vote in a four-party race. So if you ask me, what does a functional political system look like in the United States of America? The worst possible number of parties you can have is 1. The second worst is 2. The third worst is 3. The fourth worst is 4. You see where I'm going. The ideal number of political parties in the United States is probably somewhere between 3 and 6. And if you have that number of functional political parties, you actually have a resilient system that will not succumb to authoritarianism as easily as this decrepit, dysfunctional two-party system that we are riding into oblivion.
Well, again, I think Andrew's just making clear that ultimately this is about, having a different political system almost entirely, because only such a completely different political system that would probably have a parliament rather than a Congress, that would get rid of bicameralism in our current framework, would allow for 3 to 6 parties to exist.
I don't see him going. I don't see him going that far in terms of radical change to the structure.
I guess what I just heard was the optimal outcome was 3 to 6 parties, and to get a 6-party system like Spain or France or Denmark, you really need to have a parliamentary system with proportional representation in elections, not first past the post single member districts and a bicameral legislature.